This time I'm going to show you how to make bodies with the center front dart. So we prepare our dress form with our tapes and our reference points for center front, center back, sides, apex, bust line, waistline, shoulder, neck, and armhole. And I prepared our muslin, folded in about half an inch on my straight grain, and drew my bust line as well. So the next move would be place my bust line and pin it right there. My neckline at the center front, pin. My apex, pin. My waistline at the center front. So gonna do the neckline. So smooth out to neck shoulder point. Let's cut around the neck. Okay. Release the tension. Shoulder point, pin it right there too. So this time, since we're gonna take all the excess to the center front dart, I'm gonna smooth out all the excess and bring it to the front. After finishing neck, shoulder, and pin it right in the middle of an armhole and straight down around underarm and side seam. Pin it right there too. Kind of smooth down to my waist this time. I mean in the mid side seam, I pin it one more time, and then this time side at the waist. Before I go ahead, I'm gonna kind of clean up here. I usually start the dart placement from center front to the side, but this time, since all the dart excess is going to be in the center front, I need to start working from the side toward the center front. So on the side and the waist, just cut a little bit. Start to release the tension and get closer to our center front. I'll take all the excess here, see? Ooh, we have a very big chunk coming in. Now, before I do that, I do another pin here. I take all the excess, fold it in, and try to bring this piece to the center front. You can finish it in the center front, exact center front, as a total like a very sharp V, or you can give little bit of room and just finish it on the about an inch at the waist. I'm gonna do all the way to the center front as a very sharp V. Right here. I'm gonna close the dart. I'm gonna cut all the. It's gonna look like that. This is particularly nice if you are doing it open dart, or closed dart might look nice too. Yes, it looks pretty nice. Okay, so what if you want a different neckline for the finishing? I mean, this is the part that you start designing on the bodies, center front dart, and now we want to choose our neck. Actually, I love kind of very tight neck, but I'm gonna take the reference of my princess line. New neckline, mark my apex, mark my center front dart draw on the both side, and I should finish it somewhere around here, not too close to apex, a little lower. Going to draw my side and underarm, my new bust line, my side seam, side and waist in T, my armhole. First, let's finish the waist. This one is ready, and we should do the back now. So again, I prepared my fabric, my muslin. I'm going to place it on the center back. You wanted to give enough space that it can roll over around the neck and the shoulder. You don't want this part to be very short. So I pinned one at the center back on the neck, center back mid, and the center back waist. First thing I want to do, this part I need to straighten it up and go to the side. Just pin it right there without pulling or pushing anything, and the next one thing, we have to take this off so it doesn't get on our way, so we can drape the back. We just flip this down and then we smooth this out. So we smooth out around the neck here. We do the same thing here again, cut a little bit, nip for the ease it around the neck so it kind of falls down. Do you see this piece? This one can go into our shoulder dart. At the back shoulder, it needs a little dart here. We haven't decided the back design, but I'm still going to move this axis, armhole axis, and find my shoulder point. I find my shoulder point and remove this dart, and I kind of close the little dart here. Later, depends on the back neckline, we decide what to do with this. Right now, we just go ahead and close this dart here. Just a little dart there, like the basic bodice. So around the arm is kind of smooth. I might need to cut a little bit of too much fabric. You see, it's kind of nicely lays around the armhole. We don't have any too much of excess there, so it's kind of nice. Now, before I go down here, I want to address the waist dart. So what I'm going to do, make this sit nicely around the waist, right? Our back dart, I'm taking the reference of my princess line. That's where I want my back dart to be. So I just make a mark there and turn to the side, smooth out my side down to the mid side line, side seam. I'm just gonna put this one in here so you can see. Again, smooth it down a little bit more with another around here. I just wanted to give a little bit of ease so I can see how it lays on the body. Okay, a little bit more so I can take all the extra pieces toward the dart and center back. So another piece here. So we do have all this extra. Just gonna take this off. In here, I want to mark my beginning of the dart here at the waistline. And from here, whatever excess extra what I have, I want to take it away and kind of line it up close to my princess line again, and mark my princess line and my waistline as an L. I'm gonna do the same thing this side too, little L, 90 degree from this side. So now take the pin off. So this is basically where it ends if I do it very tightly, but I'm gonna go down at least about 2 inches down of my bust line, because I want extra room, because we can stretch without popping our zipper. So I do have my opening of the dart, and I'm gonna give another reference point and line where how I'm holding. And now I need my side seam and the waistline. So the armhole, I want to take all this piece and smooth it out on, because, and then I'm gonna cut it out. And then maybe open up a little bit of armhole, at least given half an inch, and the shoulder a little bit too. So it's time to close this two piece. Just gonna start folding in. I'm gonna cut this part a little bit as well. Match the shoulder points to each other, and when you fold it on top each other, just don't pin it on the body, just pin the pieces together. We're gonna fold this side again, meeting the lines together. Just gonna I need to redraw the shape, because this is a very tight fitting underarm and side seam. I want to bring this down a little bit lower. Just gives extra little room. This time I'm gonna use a different color pencil, so I know which one is the last line that I need to. Just gonna smooth out my new line, draw my new line on my bodice. So it gives a little bit more opening, because this is gonna be no sleeves. Okay, so my new lines are here. They're all okay. Other than that, all of others are okay. It has enough room in here, so it's not too tight. It's good to check this before. So this has enough room. This part has enough room. We don't want it to have too much room in here. It's a good amount. It's not too tight, not too loose. It's good. Center back and dart as well. So this is, we drape this top. Next, we're gonna transfer it to the pattern and then sew it. Okay. Now, in this step, we are transferring our bodice that we draped to make it a pattern. It was the center front dart bodice with the square neckline, front and the back. I take my front piece and I'm going to transfer it, lay it flat on dotted paper. I lay the center front flat on dotted lines, and make sure everything lays flat. And then next, I'm going to pin it, but while you pin it, be careful to not stretch or change anything. Make sure it's 100% flat. So it's properly pinned. Now, just want to mark my center front. This is my dart beginning, and this is the other side of the dart, which is probably is my waistline as well. This is where my apex is, and this is where I should end my dart. So I'm just going to follow the lines that I have before, square the side. This is the side seam. This is underarm, which I lowered it. This is my bust line, new bust line, which is shifted up, right? This is the armhole, shoulder point, and shoulder line, and the front neck, which is square. This is going to be interesting sewing. Okay. Now, I take my tracing wheel and I start to follow my red lines that I made. So let's take it off and see what's going on. Okay. So right away, follow the first center front line, side seam, and bust line, and the apex, and the end of dart where I show the beginning of the dart, which I have to now follow the direction of where I'm ending now. And this one is the other side of my dart foot, so I get the direction of my point, and this is the waistline, the neck line that I drew, and toward the shoulder line, shoulder point, shoulder line, my new bust line, which is kind of curved, and armhole, which I'm freehanding now. Okay. So basically this is it. So center front, bust line. This is apex. Okay. So this is our dart. So I want to make sure that our dart closes and it's kind of nicely done. So let's get the width of our dart, which is 5 inches. So 2.5 in the middle. This is where I'm gonna start folding with the direction, which I'm going to hold my point. I'm going to hold my end point and then try to match my lines, and I'm going to open up this dart now. Try to open it from the waist to the okay. This is how it's basically my bust line. I need to trace this dart. Girl, you stay. Okay, yeah. I need to trace my closed dart direction. And then when I open it, this is how I should draw my dart fold. Yep. So this is it. Before I put my seam allowance, I'm gonna go do the back piece and then match the front and back, improve it, and then after that we can add seam allowance and then finish it. I'm just gonna put this aside. I take the other dotted paper, bring my back piece, lay it flat, the dotted paper, center back, make it smoothly straight. Now with your light hands, pin it. So center back. Before I do this, I want to go ahead and try to find those lines that I made before, references. Dart in the back, side seam and the waist, waist and the center back, new lowered armhole and side seam, bust line here too, and this is where I am ending my back dart, center back neckline, which I'm following now, and shoulder line. Okay, this is ready. Now we are tracing it, center back, waist, dart, foot, opening where it ends, waist and the side seam, bust line, underarm, armhole, shoulder point, shoulder line, which I can already see this is a little too wide for the front piece, but we're gonna match it anyway. The neckline and the back. Am I missing something? Let's see. Unpin. take it off. Okay, let me see. This is my dart ending, and this is, okay, yep. Now we are opening our dart. Okay, so as you, I don't know if you see it because it's so little, but it has a tiny needs adjustment. Other than that, it's perfect. So we take our tracing wheel and address our dart and open it. Now we have our lines. Okay, now be straight. Before I do anything, I just want to prove it with my front piece. Whoa, before I do that, I kind of get a little close to my lines so it's not too much paper that I have to deal with. Make it a little smaller, it's easier to handle. Okay, I'm gonna keep this girl like that. The side seam, I need to fold my back piece or front piece, depends on you. I'm just gonna do it because I cut this one. This is ready. Put it first, find your bust line. Yes, they're matching. Let's hope they match at the almost perfect. Yep, this is such a good girl, not giving me a hard time. I draped this good. Okay, so little adjustment is seriously like 1/8 difference. That's perfect. This is really good too. Okay, so now the sides are good. That doesn't need any adjustment. The armhole, shoulder line, a match. I think it's there is a problem, will be here. Okay, so our shoulder line, which I think the shoulder point has the better, yes, shoulder point looks okay. I have to take from here. I can totally see from the line how it's kind of going. This one needs to be take off. Yeah, makes more sense. So shoulder lines can be sometimes tricky if you are not a tall person like me, and I was like recording so I couldn't see above my shoulder lines that well. That's why it's easier to make mistake when you're draping and making marks. Okay, the armhole looks good. Now this girl needs just to be added our seam allowance. Do it on fold. Yeah. Mark. The informations. Center, front, dart, square neck, bodice. Front, size 6, cut 1 on fold. For the self fabric, you can cut 2 if you want to line it, entirely line it, or if you want to just do facing. I don't like facings, guys. I mean, I usually use facing if I'm gonna add the lining. I like to entirely line my dresses, my bodies and my tops and everything. So that's why I usually do double in a different fabric, but usually double and clean the whole thing. But if I do have a special drape going on at the bottom and with the lining, it kind of takes it away from the drape, then I add only facing toward neckline and armhole, which is, let's say, it's kind of like, I don't know, like that, just to cover the underarm, neckline and shoulders, right? And then let the front piece drape as, you know, as it's supposed to. But this one doesn't have a drape, it's just a very clean front piece. So let's add our seam allowance and ready to cut this girl. So our center front dart bodice is ready to be cut and sewn together. This is our gal. Hi, so this is our fabric that I chose to cut our bodies. And this is I'm going to use the wall as a lining. Face fabric first. Going to align my center front unfold and start pinning and cutting our first bodice. So I'm going ahead and making my mark for the notches. Do little small So this piece is ready to be sewn. This is our center front dart with the square neck bodice and a square neck back. The back was a straight waist dart and the front was center front, which made a very super cute top. And this is 100% cotton pinstripe fabrics with the wall lining.